I want to clarify about the trainings of Maurice Ogeta. I want to expound the trainings of Ogeta from an expert's view. Yeah, I've seen and I've read in the media, main media, and even social media, where people are talking about his training. And a few people asked me, it doesn't make sense and whatever. Well, what I would say, the answer is both yes and no. Uh, First of all, it is true, the extensive trainings that he has had, all the places you are hearing that he has been trained, it most likely it is true. I mean, of course, I say it is true, but I've not worked with him. I've not seen his personal files, but I want to tell you how it is true. And I want to first of all talk to two people. One are the experts. I want my fellow experts to know that this recording is meant for the people on the street. This is not a discussion between experts. There are some terminologies and so on and so forth that we can use. While we are alone. But when you have a class of primary level people and PhD people, you don't go straight and start talking like a PhD to PhD. Talk as if you are talking to Form 1. So experts, kindly let us restrain ourselves within. It's just like if I'm arguing with you or if I'm debating with you or we are talking. And they say, no, QCB, whatever. Now, how will somebody know about QCB? Of course, QCB is a close quarter battle. That is a paramilitary training, trained in GSU, KDF, AP, and such. So, and then there is this people who have attended the VIP protection. We have something that we call 123. 123, the VIP reaches a place. And the VIPs, especially a VIP like Raila. We have VIPs like Raila. We have VIPs, so many who have a character of Raila. And then we have VIPs like Kibaki. A VIP like Kibaki is very easy for VIP protection. Yeah, easy is very easy. But a VIP protection for a person like Raila, it is very hard. It is a nightmare. And I can tell you that the late George and Maurice, they really had it tough. Actually, there is even a rumor, an unsubstantiated rumor somewhere that the late George, was his name George? The senior one who died recently, the inspector of police reserve who died. There is even some belief that his death may have been due to fatigue. You see, that kind of work is really strenuous. I can tell you that if I remember very well, when I was being attached to VIP protection, it was on a temporary basis. It was to fill in gap. There was a prime minister from Uganda called Kiseka, Dr. Kiseka. Yeah, so you find that, imagine working for such a person for 2 weeks when he's in Nairobi, and you imagine that this is something that somebody does it year in, year out for over 10 years. Me, I'm there for 12 days and I'm still tired to today. And this is somebody who has done it for over 12 years. So there's even a belief that his death may have been due to a lot of work. I don't know. But anyway, that is what I'm telling you, that that work is very strenuous. It is very strenuous, and we have to understand it. We have also to understand it that apart from Ogeta being somebody who works, and then suddenly you find yourself you rest for 6 hours a day, and then you find that even if you are reassigned, you continue the same pay or even more. They being very busy, and suddenly you're finding yourself idle, has a lot of strain on a human being. Now, the purpose of recording this was to tell a lay person, a person who has no training but has interest in what is known, what is there. You may have heard in the newspapers, people in the main, that this fellow has trained in Israel for 10 years. He has trained in France for 5 years. He has trained in Russia. If you put on all those years, they add up to, is it 30? And then you hear that he has worked for Raila for 18 years. Now, while deputizing the late, that is why most of the time you used to see the late, but you only see the in charge. Obviously, you don't expect a person of Raila's stature to be guarded by one. Okay, I've answered that. You don't expect one person. There are several. Actually, not less than 12. Not less than 12. Those who are close quarter guard. Close quarter guard. I don't want to use the the initials for experts, because this is not meant for experts. Experts, you are welcome to listen and watch and maybe comment why I've forgotten, but let it not be a discussion between us. If we enter into a discussion, as I said, between PhD guys, the Form 2 fellow will walk out. And this is meant for the Form 2. Somebody who has not trained but he has or she has interest in security. Now, is it possible to train for Israel 10 years? Is it possible to train in Russia for 5 years? And then all those years, they come to 22, and then work for Raila for 22. That is 40 years work. Well, that is why I wanted to talk here. It is true, but I want to do the calculation for you. One thing, and I've said before, but I'll repeat. I said it when the late Chief Security Officer of Raila died. I recorded it, but I'll say here briefly. One thing that Raila knew that no other Kenyan ever imagined in Kenya's life. Maybe if somebody else did so, he copied from Raila. What Raila did for the time being is that Raila knew that his security issues were like the electricity in Kenya. Anytime, even right now, the middle of this recording, the lights can go off. And then within seconds, they can come back, or they can, I think I've told you, VIP protection in Kenya is a privilege that you are given by the sitting head of state. Since Jomo Kenyatta's time, and even today. So Raila knew that very early in life. He selected people who, one, these people were martial artists in various arts. That is why you hear Ogeta being said that he's good in karate, judo, whatever. He knew karate, he knew judo, he knew whatever before he knew Raila. Because here is Raila who is minding about his security. First of all, he looks for somebody who has several trainings: judo, karate, taekwondo. By the way, I don't know the difference between them. Don't tell anybody. Raila looks for such people. Then after getting those people, the second thing is loyalty. You have to get people who are loyal to you. people who are ready to die for you. People, let me not talk about Raila. Let me talk about all VIP protection. You know a lot of things, huh? You know a lot of things. And you may even find that the wife, I'm now talking of men, you may find even the wife trying to find out from you. Now you just say he was meeting a Luo Council of Elders somewhere, while you know that that is why you find some funny things. Like, what is the name of that MP, Ukambani MP, uh, who died in Githurai area? In one night, he had detained three different ladies, and I think almost, if not all of them were, he was meeting them for the first day, for the first time. So, Dilinge, Tony Dilinge. So that is why I'm saying that you keep, you know what to say. In the intelligence, we say need to know basis. You want, who needs to know? Who needs to know? You can tell everything about VIP, but you cannot tell him that. You cannot tell his wife. You can tell the wife everything, except you cannot tell her that there was Jerry somewhere. There was Jerry somewhere. They were taking drinks with. Or if you have to talk of Jerry, it has to be the youth leader or women leader, such things, whatever. So you know, you can even read the moods. Or you remember a lot of people are saying that when the other bodyguard died, that there were times when they wanted to talk to Raila, they would call him and they would say, no, 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 today is moody. Today is not enough. Okay, another time he would call you and say, can you go straight away? He's in a mood of uh, generous. He's generous now, whatever. So those are the things that have got to happen there. After such clearance, of course, for somebody who is very good in martial art, not just one martial art, as I said, like Ogeta. Ogeta had those so many I can't even call. I even don't know their difference. Now, when you have that multi whatever and you have passed the the, the test of confidentiality, then where do you go? Then Raila pays for your training. Pays for your training in South Africa. You know, even in Kenya, I think I think we have people who are civilians with firearms, and where do they you my training in firearm is that nobody is born with the talent of firearm. Even if you are born, you have to do a lot of practices. But anyway, Raila from his pocket, this is what he does. He takes the person to South Africa, he takes the person to Israel, takes the person to France, and even Moscow, using his own pocket. Using his own pocket. When they come back, he employs them as his security. After employing them, now these 12 people, after he has employed them, then he maneuvers. You know, where the occasions when he's in when he's in good terms with the president, then he maneuvers for them to be inducted into the Kenya Police Reserve. They're inducted into the Kenya Police Reserve. Now, when people are talking during the funeral, they were saying that people are talking during the funeral, they were saying that the government should promote them even if it is by one rank. Well, there are those people who are seconded to Raila by the government. Those ones can be promoted to the next rank. And you have to be very careful who promotes them. You have to be very careful with who promotes them. Because if their letter of promotion is made by the president, then it is different from their letter being written by the National Police Service Commission chair and a letter written by the Inspector General or the DIG or the Director of CID. Why? These are the things. Let me talk about that promotion. For those, now, not the 12 core guards, but I'm talking of those police officers who were seconded to Raila. If Ruto writes their letter of promotion, if one is a constable, they will be promoted to inspector straight. It does not matter if the person is a constable or a warrant officer. If the letter is written by the president, he goes to be an inspector straight, and he undergoes a certain. There are some things that, for example, for you to be made an inspector, you have to pass some police law exams. During my time, there were 5 subjects. You have to pass them to be made a full inspector, and you have to have acted for at least 6 months or so. But if it is the president promoting you, suppose you are the constable and the president himself promotes you, you become an inspector. You become an inspector with the privileges. Okay, I'll talk about that privilege. And if you are a member of inspectorate, from sub-inspector to chief inspector, it means that you become a superintendent. Nowadays, it is assistant superintendent. So whatever rank you are, in the inspectorate, you are made an assistant superintendent. But if you are from superintendent and onwards, and the president signs your promotion, then you go one rank ahead. Another privilege, if it is the president who will do the whatever to the people, to the police officers attached to Raila, it means that you cannot be sacked. Unaweza lewa, unaweza fanya disciplinary mistake, whatever, you cannot be sacked. You only have to wait. You'll not get any promotion, but you'll not be sacked until you reach the retirement age. Or you commit a crime and you are sent to jail. So if you are promoted by the president, you cannot be sacked, you cannot be demoted. Yes, you can be promoted to superintendent. If you are a constable, you can be promoted up to higher ranks, chief inspector. Let's say the president promotes you, you become an inspector. Then in your due course of work, you're promoted to chief inspector. Then you have disciplinary offenses. Then if you have disciplinary offenses, you can only be reverted to the rank that the president gave you. That is the president. If it is any other person like the chairman of the National Police Service Commission or the Inspector General or the Deputy Inspector General, you are promoted to the next rank. The next rank. If you are a constable, you are promoted to corporal. And if you are corporal, to sergeant, something like that. You hear that if you are a constable, if you are 2 constables, one is promoted by the president, you go to inspector. And the other one is promoted by the Inspector General or the chairman of the National Police Service Commission. You go to the next rank. That is the difference. And if you go to the next rank because you have been promoted by the Inspector General or even the National Police Service Commission, okay, you get drunk and disorderly, you are sacked. Those are the privileges. But as I said, and I keep on saying, that the only thing that can happen is that the only thing that can happen is that that one can only happen to people who are working, who are seconded there, but not people like Ogeta. Ogeta is not he may be a police reservist, and police reservist is a part-time job. So you can even be promoted to superintendent. It only changes the whatever you wear. So that is I've elaborated on those police officers who are seconded to him, but people like Ogeta, no. so they cannot be promoted. But I heard the president telling him that he mentioning him whatever you'll be looked into. Uh, he can be taken by what do you call? He can be taken by Spectre. He can be Mama Ida's bodyguard. He can do anything. But if I were to be asked, I would rather he becomes maybe the chief security officer of Spectre, or he becomes Mama Ida's personal bodyguard. If he's not going to be the chief security officer of Spectre or any of the companies there, or if he's not going to be Mama Ida's bodyguard, because most of the time we have to appreciate that we have also got ladies who it is even more comfortable for ladies to be the ADC of a lady. In such a case, is just give him a honorary discharge. That is the family. There are so many people, the president, everything, the friends of Raila, they can, uh, eh, the English word FOR is friends of Raila. Friends of Raila can give him a good package. He goes and retires, and he becomes like, he can even open a YouTube channel like Jitenga and start telling the next generation about life after their time. Now, I wanted to explain how somebody can have trained in Israel for 10 years, South Africa. If you add all those, they become 40 years, and yet he has worked for Raila for 18 years. How possible it is? Well, for an expert like me, kumbe mi ni expert. For an expert like me, this is how it goes. You see, these people, when they go to South Africa, Israel, everywhere, Raila pays from his pocket. Do you want to tell me you can train someone for 22 years and then he works for 18? No, it can't work. Another thing is, even you yourself, ukisikia tunaringa, kama mimi naringa, I was in GSU, I was in, 1 week in GSU. And you see, that is GSU in Magadi. You don't compare it to desert in Israel, and the Israel is a bit tougher and whatever. And then tell me that he studied in Israel for 10 years. Well, it is true he studied in Israel for 10 years, but this is how it goes. Once Raila has identified you, has talent spotted you, you undergo several. So first of all, he employs you. Then he takes you to the first course in South Africa. Then after some years, you go for a refresher course in Israel. After some years, you go to another refresher course in Paris and whatever. So what these people are doing is, the first course you went to South Africa, the first course in 2015. And then you went a subsequent course, you went to South Africa in 2025. So someone says from 2015 to 2025, you were in South Africa, somebody adds up to 10. And then Israel, the first course you went to Israel was 2013, and you went to another one 2019. So you have been, that is how it is. Somebody is calculating the number of years, either the number of years where the first course you went in a certain country to the last course. That is mostly what people are doing, and that is how it doesn't add up. This person has a very good CV, that even being the chief security officer in Kenya breweries is under work. So the best thing is just either he works within the family, or if he doesn't work within the family, he goes home. And if he goes home, I remember people should tell me, there is somebody who went to train. I'm getting old. There is somebody who used to be Jaramogi's bodyguard. There is somebody who used to be Jaramogi's bodyguard, and I think he went home and became an elected leader. So, in Luoland, in Luoland, you associated with the Jaramogi family. That is enough to be elected. So who knows? Maybe that's my observation. Thank you and God bless you.